My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore, the series where we look at one stage in GoldenEye 007 and learn about the speedrunners, the gamers, and the stories of their quests to achieve remarkable scores on the level, all through the lens of the world record progression. Tonight is episode 29, believe it or not. And it's a remarkable level where myself and many others have left their mark. A level where we've seen ups and downs, controversies, disagreements, triumphs, and legendary runs. A level that truly exemplifies the duality of man. This is Depot Secret Agent. The 13th level in GoldenEye, part of the St. Petersburg Mission 6, and this one follows, you're on the statue and then in the archives and the streets, and then you end up in the depot. And the general overarching goal of the depot is to make it to the train level while doing a couple of things on the way. And on Secret Agent, you have 4 objectives. Agents 1, 00's 5. So Secret Agent's almost 00, and we actually thought about possibly doing Secret and 00 as the same episode, but when we wrote out all the world records, there was just way too much. So we're going to go Secret Agent tonight, and it's going to be a good one. So here are our 4 objectives. Objective A, destroy computer network. You'll see what that is. B, obtain safe key. Sounds pretty straightforward. C, recover helicopter blueprints, and D, locate Trevelyan's train. Let's watch an example run of this level. We haven't shown an example run of this now top 20 player for quite some time. This is, of course, the Madman Fletcher. And we see he's going to strafe out, start exploring his way down the depot. Comes over to this roller. I mean, there are many garages, or hangars, whatever you want to call them. There are many of them. So eventually you come to learn which ones are important, which ones, some of them are just completely empty. A lot of them have a body armor in them, but some of them are just completely empty. They just have these steel crates that are, you can't do anything with them. There's a drone gun in this room, obviously harassing the Madman Fletcher a little bit. He's going to defeat these guards. So here's Objective A. There's Objective B, the safe key. And Objective A requires you to blow up both those mainframes and that screen. Okay, both the mainframes and the screen. And the key is also in that same room. So Objective A and B go hand in hand. We can see the Madman Fletcher is a bit low on health. I wouldn't say he's in too much danger of passing away because he's almost done the level. He's found the safe. He's used the safe key to open it and pick up the blueprints. Objective C. Now all that remains is to discover the train. Objective D, he's found it. He's found the train. He's completed the mission. And what do we have here? It's always fun to watch the ending cutscene on this level because you eliminate the remaining guards in the train, if there are any. And he has a time of 1 minute 29 seconds. Pretty nice. I will say the Madman Fletcher, it is remarkable. We started using his runs as examples, last year. He's now a top 20 player. It's very impressive. And I won't tell the exact time he has on Depot Secret Agent, but he does have a tied for 34th place time. So it's actually, his PB's a little bit below his rank would indicate. Maybe he's going to try to improve it sometime soon. But a huge thanks for such a beautiful example run, showing you what happens on Depot Secret Agent. Well, let's watch the first recorded video we have of this level. And the first recorded video is that of one Sterling Neblet from 1999, October. He was not the first person to get this time. Wouter Jansen claims to be the first person to get this time. But Sterling is the one with the video, so let's take a look. Yes, Sterling probably used the 1.1 control style. No cruise control. That's setting the default to always be running up full speed. No look down. Very, very rudimentary gameplay. He shoots a guard in the head, gets the D5K weapon, shoots the screen out, shoots the mainframes. You'll notice he did not destroy the mainframes, however, the guards did. This becomes a luck-based endeavor, where you basically run through the mainframe room. Oh, he's shooting at the train. That's very interesting. That such a thing had already been discovered in 1999, but it had. And as a result, the guards have come out of the train, opened the train door for him and the rolling door. That technique saves nearly 3 seconds, and we have a 49-second run by Sterling Neblett. A very nice record for the time. And yeah, really the pivotal moments of Depot's Secret Agent become, for one, the ending, hitting the train shot after you've already done all this stuff, getting the guards to come out and open the roller door for you. And I'm sure we'll see some ways that can go wrong later on. And also the Objective A-B room. And, essentially, you got to destroy the screen, got to destroy the mainframes, and usually you're not going to make all 5 shots into the mainframes. You're going to have to hope that the guards will shoot and destroy the mainframes as well. And we'll see more techniques of this as time goes on. Let's take a look at the records over the next little while. We can see Wouter and Sterling had the 49s. We can see Wouter, Wes, and Tim 48s. Wouter, Mathice, Randy 47. And then we can see a bit of a grouping at 46 seconds. And we're going to watch a couple of these 46-second runs now. And we'll see a couple different techniques for what we call the mainframe room. It kind of speaks for itself, so let's take a look. Here's Wouter Jansen's Depot 46 from May 2001. Let's see what technique he uses. And, Randy Buikima is claimed to have gotten the first 46, but there's no video of that. This is the first video. Yeah, that's a good point. The drone cannot destroy the drone does not destroy the mainframes. Only the guards can. So Wouter gets 1 or 2 shots on each of the mainframes. Not too many, but luckily the guards do end up destroying them. And you could play, no joke, 1 or 2 hours a night, and you might only get 1 or 2 completions. The guards are trying to shoot at you, So in order to have them blow up, you have to get lucky and have the guards kind of miss, or they have to be in the perfect spot where the line you're in is kind of in a place where they're going to shoot and hit the mainframes in between you and them. But anyways, 46 seconds by Wouter Jansen. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a closer look at his mainframe route. So he's going to open the door here. He's going to... He tries to shoot the guard in the head, misses, goes on the right-hand side and does kind of a big circle through the mainframe room. Okay, a big circle through the mainframe room. Gets 46. Let's watch the run of Greg Lavery from a couple months later, also a 46, and see how he does it. And Lavery's come up enough in these SpeedLores where we know his story. He became a professional poker player, quite a successful guy, and not much is known beyond that within the elite community, at least. Headshots that card, goes on the left side now, takes a bunch of shots on the left, comes back and goes behind the mainframes and out on that side. And that's a good strategy, because you're giving the guards lots of opportunities to shoot bullets with the mainframes between you and them. He backs up and does a train shot there. Seems, now we can kind of see that might be a little bit of a slow way to do it, but he wants to make sure he hits the train shot. Gets the roller door open, and runs in. That was actually a pretty nice run, I gotta say. 46 seconds. Certainly the way he does the mainframe room is something I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of throughout the night. Enter on the left, shoot at the screen, grab the key, come back, run behind the mainframes. The mainframes take 5 shots to be destroyed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this run, he's hitting it. There's like 1 and 1. So the guards hit each mainframe 4 times. And that's getting pretty lucky. If you can put 2 to 3 shots in each mainframe, well, now the guards only need 2 to 3 shots. And so that tends to complete more frequently. You can imagine already, maybe later down the line, people are going to really, really start YOLOing it and maybe shoot 0 times into the mainframes. And, you know, maybe we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So through the year 2001, 6 total people had tied Depot 46. Some interesting names: Dirk Olsen, Dan Dykstra. These guys are not coming up too frequently in SpeedLore, but they matched the tie. And then in October 2001, it was Wouter Jansen back at it with this speedrun. And this seems to be a rare webcam capture of Wouter, but even so, it's a good enough quality video. Wouter was captured all of his videos, really set the tone for the community on that. And we can see a very similar to the Lavery technique. I think he got a bit of a stuck there, which wasn't too perfect. That was a much faster train shot than Lavery. That's probably going to be a difference maker. Gets boosted in the train even as well. That's nice. Another 0.3 times save. And Wouter Jansen got this beautiful 45 seconds on Depot Secret Agent. I feel like he got stuck here, right? Let's see. Left. He shoots 5 quick ones into the screen, grabs the key. 1, 2, 3 into the one mainframe, and it blew up immediately. So 2 guards were like shooting at the mainframe as he was. And then 1 into the second mainframe, and that one happens to blow up as he leaves. So a really nice run by Wouter. About half a year later, in March 2002, his rival at the time, Randy Buikima, would match that 45, and let's take a look at how this one went down. Randy opens the door. I'm going to imagine we're going to see quite a similar mainframe room. So they're all headshotting this guard for the D5K, which is interesting because I was going to say because they're not usually using it in that room, but Randy switched to the D5K, was able to shoot more frequently at the mainframes, and probably had more frequent mainframe completions. Now he's doing the reverse multiple shot train shot. That was popular around that time. Again, we saw Lavery do the same, but it fell out of favor pretty quickly. I doubt we'll see it again, this SpeedLore. So Randy had a faster mainframe room, but lost the time gained by doing the backup multiple shot train shot. His mainframe room was pretty nice. So shoot to the screen, D5K, gets the key. It's like 1, 2, I want to say 3, 4, maybe 3 or 4 bullets on that one, and then 2 in that one. Like that's really nice. You are very likely going to get a completion with that. If you can consistently get 3 or 4 in the first one and 2 in the second one, you'll get a lot of completions. And completions are key to you getting a new record, of course. Now, what's interesting is that this remained a Wouter Jansen, Randy Buikima time through most of 2002. No one else joined and tied them. But Wouter back then was simply so good and had such a drive to lower the speedruns to where he thought they would be optimized and acceptable, that he went out there and got this It went to attempt to even lower his Depot Secret Agent World Record. Let's take a look. Gets the 5 shots. Very, very clean mainframe room. Yeah, and I mean, now, of course, Lookdown has been incorporated, and I think we're just going to see that's all it is. The faster train shot, a very clean mainframe room. You know, like you said, like, you know, on the Welder 45, he had the faster train shot, but he got stuck in the mainframe room. Randy had a good mainframe room, but a slower train shot. And so Welder took the bits and pieces, the best bits and pieces, and made it happen and got a 44, which was a very nice Untied World Record. Now, it's a great question, Racer XYZ. You cannot crouch the door. You cannot. You simply cannot. You know what? Let's see if we can bring this in here and demonstrate exactly what happens when you try to crouch the door. I did not have this planned, but I will just show you. Though you cannot. The game is programmed in such a way that Bond does not really have a height, and so you can only go underneath the door once it's opened a certain amount of... Like, I'm running against the door. See, once the door is open about 90% of the way, then you can go underneath it. Like, I'm running against it. I can't... There. You know, maybe even like 92% of the way up. And yeah, Bond doesn't have a height program, so the game just, the way they programmed it is that once it reaches a certain height, you can pass through, but not until then. So crouching under the doors, do not save time. I'm glad I was able to demonstrate why that is. Very, very easy thing to demonstrate, so thanks for asking. There you go. Yeah. So when we're at the 44, of course, these ideas like crouching have been entertained and debunked thoroughly by this era. We're now in October 2002. And let's even jump ahead a little bit more. The Depot 44 would remain the record for, you know, more than 2 years, 2.5 years. But we can see it was only tied by other top players of that era. Boss eventually got it. Dan Cervone. Graham Morris was I think he peaked at 3rd place, a top British player in the time. So 44 is starting to get tied. It's not like super duper tied yet, but yeah, people are starting to think, I wonder. You know, Welder's eyeing up. He's got this Depot 00 Agent 51, which we'll talk about in a later on SpeedLore episode. He's thinking, man, I wonder if 43 is possible. I wonder. In the year 2005, this is the last year that Welder ever actually got untied world records, which is kind of hard to believe. You know, Welder achieved something like 272 world records in his career. 282. 172 were untied. But 2005 was the end of the Welder-Jansen era. But he wanted to go out with a bang. And so he you know, this is not a level where you really talk about PAL NTSC differences, but he was playing PAL, and the roller doors are even slower on PAL. The roller doors do actually go up more slowly on PAL. So getting 44 on PAL was very impressive. And by this time, Welder now had acquired the NTSC. He had learned the 1.2 control style, which allows you to keep full speed more easily, more fluidly throughout the run. And Welder said, you know what, I'm going to go for a couple more untieds. And that's what he did. And in May of 2005, he got this speedrun. A speedrun so remarkable indeed, it's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Corey Meyer. Thank you, Corey, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's enjoy this classic Welder-Jansen run from May 31st, 2005. Just before I had joined the rankings. That was like a 3-shot and then 1-shot mainframe. Nice train shot. The train shot, of course, you saw it in 99. It was discovered by Peter Osterland, who had success on Agent, but never Secret or Double O Agent, really. Nothing. I mean, that run just looked super clean. You know, that just looked like a very clean run. 1.2 control style NTSC, and we found ourselves at Depot Secret Agent 43 seconds. A truly and utterly remarkable speedrun. Let's take a look here. Let's watch him go into the mainframe room once more. And now we've discovered, oh, there's no point in killing the guard at the side of the roller door. Like, he's not benefiting us in any way to pass him away, to put him underground, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 in the first one, and I could feel it blow. On that frame it blows. Like, look at that, right? That little shake, it blew. So it already blew, and then he puts 1 into that main frame. He needs to get lucky and have the guards shoot 4 times to that main frame, and he does. Objective A completed. 43 seconds. Now, an interesting thing with the 43 seconds is that Jimbo claims, and it's a believable claim. You know, back in the day, people claimed a lot of things. But this one, Jimbo has stayed true to this story, and it's believable. Jimbo had 45 seconds. You know, he wasn't one of the guys with 44. He claims he was going for 44. He had a perfect run where he, you know, destroyed the Objective A, the mainframes in the screen, got the key, and then when it came to the Objective C, he missed picking up the blueprints from the safe. And so he failed a 43-second speedrun. Poor, hapless Jimbo missed it on... And that would have been big for Jimbo because, you know, he only got 3 untieds in his career, I think is the number 3. Which is, you know, respectable. A lot of guys never got a single untied. But to have missed, you know, what could have been another untied for him would have been a big deal. So he choked the safe. It's correct. Choked the safe. And, yeah, Wilder ended up getting the 43, and this was one of his last untieds. Of his 172 career untieds, this was his 168th. And 2005 would be the last year he would ever get one, so... Wow. Very insane and remarkable. Now, there's something interesting, silly, strange, anomalous, at least we thought back then, but it would go on to have an incredible influence on the way Depot Secret Agent would be played for the next 15 plus years, forever. It had always been known that Control Style 2.4, it was never, you know, unprogrammed that the button presses on the second controller would not work during the cutscenes. They do work. You can shoot, you can slap, you can build speed, you can do all sorts of craziness during the cutscenes with Control Style 2.4. You know, an understandable thing to overlook by all means. I'm sure if you browsed game FAQs back in 2000, you would know about this. So this was well known, was well established. Now, one member of the community at the time was the well-liked Alex Bass Boost Anderson. And this is, of course, his capture setup, is we're all too familiar throughout these 29 episodes so far. But in 2006, along came another gentleman, Mouser Scribe, who, like Alex, resided in the Canadian province of Manitoba, just north of, I believe, the Dakotas, if you keep going north. And Minnesota, and, you know, those guys. So, Mouser and Alex, and this wasn't that common back then. Nowadays, it's very common. They met up a few times. They played the game together a few times, and they thought, wouldn't it be funny and cool if we played 2.4 control style on Depot Secret Agent? The effect this has specifically on Depot Secret Agent is one of the intro cutscenes is this one. It has 3 total, but one of them's this one. What you can do is you can shoot out the screen in the cutscene, like so. You saw 4 shots on the screen, and then he's going to blow it up right now as it fades to the next cutscene. You'll see what effect this has as we proceed through the run. This run is so strange, remarkable, and historically important. It can only be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Enjoy this marvelous speedrun. And now that we've shot the screen out, the roller door is open. This saves roughly 3 seconds. And then you destroy the mainframe, so you don't even have to worry about the screen anymore, just the mainframes. They somehow managed the train shot. And pretty nice strafing, to be honest. Grab the blueprints, come down, strafe into the train, and they achieve Depot Secret Agent 43 seconds. Wow. Now you might think, well, you know, if the roller door 2.4 saves 3 seconds, why is it 43? I mean, obviously their strafing wasn't all that refined. It's not that familiar to 2 players, 2 controllers controlling 1 character, right? So it's what they came up with, and it was a very interesting proof of concept run that this strategy worked. Might lower be possible if someone were somehow to be able to master the 2 control styles. I mean, you got to think about how awkward it is to play on 2 controllers at the same time. I mean, that's a mighty challenge. Surely this could never happen. Let's forget about it and push it down the line and not consider what could be for now. It was a cool video they put together. You could even say that this was like the first inkling of inspiration to what would later become Alex and myself running the game at AGDQ 2014 with 2.x control style. I think you could easily say that. This was the first time anything like this had ever been demonstrated. Back in September 2006, so pretty cool. Very historic, but not much came of it. And of course, there was light discussion at the time, but it was generally accepted that, like, look, 2 players played this run. Therefore, we're not going to say Wilder's time is tied by both Alex and Mouser. This will become a non-ranked, anomalous run. You know, this will just be a cool side thing. We're not going to put on the main rankings where it's only 1 player playing. Although people wondered, how would you prove it was only 1 person playing? Could someone secretly have a second person playing? And these are the questions that would be answered with time. So Wilder's record remained untied through now 2006. But only a month later, of course, Big Boss Man would come along, as he tended to do in this era, and he would match Wilder Jansen's 43-second time, starting in right strafe, which is interesting. I remember there was some discussion on which strafe was faster to start at the beginning of Depot, and I don't think it was ever conclusively decided. He shot twice, so that he would only have 5 bullets in the clip of his PP7, so that after he shot all the bullets into the screen, it would automatically reload for him. A pretty good little, not even quite an optimization, but a smart technique. A smart technique. Beautiful, beautiful shot. And nice run. I would say, King Mears, that the train shot success rate is probably over 50%, maybe up to 80% on players if you're playing with good focus, and you know, if you're not nervous. I would say it could be as high as 80, maybe even 90%. It can get pretty consistent, although there are things that can mess it up, as you'll see later, and as you'll certainly see in the Depot 00 Agent SpeedLore episode. But yeah, Boss had tied the 43. Nice run. You know, one of Witter's last Untieds, no longer. And that's the way things go. Nearly 1 year later, Clemens would also tie 43. I'm not going to show that run, don't worry. I'm sure we'll see some of Clemens later on. Another year later, in 2008, we would have Dan Cervone tie the time. And yeah, okay, so for some reason, the YouTube render has the Swedish national anthem. I guess it was a copyright-free song back in the day, but it is no longer copyright-free. YouTube did this weird thing with these like default songs from 2009 and so on. But Cervone had a super lucky completion. 5 bullets there, and then watch. He gets stuck. He doesn't hit a single mainframe with a single bullet, and yet it still completes. Sometimes you just have good luck on your side. And he certainly did in this run. And he would use that luck to become the 4th person to tie 43 in 3 years' time. And so you can probably tell that, like, 43 is a solid record. It's not the best record in the game. It's not some sort of god-tier incredible record. But, I mean, you know, it doesn't have that many ties. You know, it's very slowly starting to rack up the ties. Ace would tie this a month later. He'd become the 5th person to match the tie. And then, interestingly, we have a run from Luke Sklarz. You know, Luke would tie the 43, but what's interesting is that if we look at his PB history, this is Luke Sklarz PR history, we scroll down, Luke hadn't played in 2 years, and he wouldn't play again for 3 more years. Yet he got this Depot Secret Agent 43 his one time in a gap of more than 5 years. You know, I remember, you know, we would talk to Luke back then. He was the same age as me. You know, 2007, 8, you're going through university. You're trying to grow up. You're trying to find your place in the world. You know, things don't make sense. If you play games too much, you start to resent them, certainly. And Luke, I think, started to push away from gaming, from GoldenEye, from speedrunning. And, but there was this one time that he kept clinging on to. Depot Secret Agent. He really wanted Depot Secret Agent 43. And so he went and got this speedrun. And it's very much a Luke aesthetic run, especially back then. Kind of the fantasy, dream, electro, the VCR artifacts. Objective 8, very nice, clean run. This might be one of the finest runs we've seen so far. And I believe this one was done on PAL as well. It was the first 43 on PAL. He didn't have NTSC back then? Yeah, that's right. 43. Wow. Set to Brian Eno, apparently. and he just lets the music play out, and a beautiful run, a beautiful, beautiful run. So very, very nice from Luke, yeah. And it is interesting to think, like, we know now he would later go on to become a GoldenEye champion. You wonder, would he have come back in November 2012? Maybe he would have. Maybe he would have. Because of the Twitch era and all that kind of stuff, but it feels as though the Depot Secret Agent 43 was like his last hurrah for a moment there, you know? So, definitely a historic and important speedrun to acknowledge. And, you know, time would go by. I mean, I personally attempted 43 a number of times. I could never get it done. I was not one to tie 43. But Ilu did. Ilu did. And according to my co-researcher for SpeedLore, Joris Quevedo, he says that Ilu uses a new strategy for the mainframe room here. It didn't really go well, but, wow, in 2 boosts. But he went on the left side and then came out on the same side, hoping that guards would have just randomly blow up the far mainframe. Wow. Well done. Very smooth run. Ilu. It's a good question, Yendis. How did it complete? 43 seconds by Ilu. And this was May 2010. So, blow it up. Key. Like, one shot. It's a good question. How did it complete? Ilu was in here. My Depot triumph. It's very true. It's very true. Wow, amazing. And so, yeah, May 2010, Ilu became the 7th person to tie the record. The 7th person to tie Depot 43. And so it had been gaining ties. But again, not that rapidly. 5 years? Wow. Okay. Something else would happen in May 2010 that would forever change the face of GoldenEye speedrunning. Eternally. Things would never be the same. May 25th, 2010. Jimmy Bauer. I was checking the TAS videos forum and came across this post by Datel from back in February. His post is long, but basically he discovered that you can charge full speed in the cinema by using 2.2 or 2.4. Technically this saves time on every level, but obviously 2.x is ridiculously hard to use. From his post, it seems like it saves 6/10 or so. I tried this out in streets, it didn't seem like too much. But getting cruise control to work perfectly is really hard. Wow. And, okay. There's the post from Datel. And yeah, it would turn out to save about 0.36 seconds. And we can see there was massive debate. Like, you know, people were saying, well, okay, I guess in this thread there wasn't that much debate. But in many threads, there was a lot of debate. Should this be allowed or not? And I guess what really came of this was, like, now all of a sudden we had incentive to start using the 2.x control styles on other levels. You know, before this point, before this knowledge had been released that now you can save 1/3 of a second on every level, we would just see it as a cute anomaly. Yeah, you could play 2 players on Depot and have fun and maybe beat the world record, and that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, you can, you know, pause at the end of Egypt and shoot out the Baron. Oh, I think that's a bad idea because I think it's soft locks sometimes. You can, you know, shoot out Natalie on Archives. It was just a fun little anomaly. But now it became real, like, oh man, maybe using 2.2, 2.4 is something we have to take seriously in GoldenEye speedrunning. And the thing is, using 2.2 was super easy on streets. All you had to do was take your second controller, cruise control it down left, and and that's it. And then it's like playing 1.2 on streets. You drop that second controller, leave it, forget about it, and you're in full right strafe the whole way. And that's because streets is a level where you only stay in right strafe the entire time, right? So everyone started using this on streets, right? It was simple enough to use on streets. Why not use it and save that third of a second? And as a result, an influx of streets 113s started rolling in. And there was still some debate, should this count, should this not count? And it's like, what can you do? Yeah, I'm looking at the world record history from July. There were 4 streets 113s in July 2010 using the 2.x technique. And obviously, it was like, well, if there's any other level where we're going to use 2.x on, even though it's going to be super difficult to learn to play with 2 different controllers, you know, it's going to be super hard to play with 2 controllers, it's probably worth it to learn that on Depot Secret Double Agent, because it could save up to 3 seconds. And some people still to this day think they should be separate rankings, and you know, maybe they have a point. But on June 22nd, 2010, the history of GoldenEye was changed forever when Perfect Ace got this speedrun. I don't know how he did it, how he was able to master the use of 2 controllers at once. Nobody knew how to do it back then. It was super awkward. I think I know what he does. He stays all in left strafe and does like an extra lap around the mainframe room in left strafe. Gets a boost. Him going up the stairs is going to be tough here. Gets the train shot. Takes a wide turn, gets up the stairs. It has to be 2.4 to shoot out the screen, Joris. But yeah, all left strafe, which is obviously one way to do things, right? It's one way to... I mean, it's a solution. Depot Secret Agent 42, Untied world record. Wow, pretty crazy, if I do say so myself. Obviously, like, the problem when you're playing with 2 controllers is, like, one of the controllers, you have to hold up right or up left strafe. And so every time you're changing strafe, you have to, like, smoothly go from up left to up right and then back, and not lose your position, your thumb, which I'm doing right now. You lose your thumb's place on the stick. It's really, really tough. So what Ace did is he turned Depot Secret Agent into something like a Streets, where you're only ever in one strafe. You don't have to worry about changing strafe. He had to be creative and learn a way to do the mainframe room, and then this part is really, really tough. I remember trying this part myself for like Depot 25 and stuff, trying to take a wide turn here and get up the that's really hard. Open the strafe and left, stay left the whole way. But he found a way, and he nailed it. And he got a Depot Secret Agent 42, and this really started to show the potential of the technique. And it wouldn't stay untied for too long. About a week later, Dave Clemens would say, you know what, forget the all left strafe, I'm just going to go hard, I'm going to learn how to play properly with 2 controllers. It's kind of crazy to think he doesn't do that so much these days. Like, he hardly ever plays 2.x nowadays. But back then, he saw the Untied and he went for it. This is a really cool run. July 1st, 2010. Let's take a look. Wasn't that crazy and cool? It's like he's playing almost as good as you would play with one controller. I don't know how he did it back then, but he found a way. It's like, well, obviously 10 years later we've figured out optimizations and ways to play with two controllers, but he's switching strafe and playing as if it's one controller. It's really a masterful run. Like, up the stairs, like switching strafe there. Like, there are some points where it's not quite as perfect as, like, perfect strafing with 1.2. But man, that's incredibly impressive. And he was rewarded with a handsome Untied world record. Depot Secret Agent 41. Wow. Okay. Now, as often happens with any new strategy, the Untieds don't remain untied for all that long. Ace would get back at it, and would Ace learn to switch strafe as 2.x? Or would Ace come up with some other idea? Let's take a look. And yes, I must thank Elu for reminding me of the Clemens tutorials. We'll take a look at those next. Wow, did you see that? Ace kind of stuck to avoid doing the big lap around the mainframe room. He kind of ran into the crates and then ran back out that way. This is quite a remarkable run. So he's improved on his all-left strafe 42. And now he's achieved an all-left strafe 41. Wow. So Ace had matched Clemens' Untied, Depot Secret Agent 41 seconds, and they would remain the only two with 41 through 2010 and 2011. In the meantime, let's watch Clemens' tutorials.
Okay, this is a, let's get this out of here. This is a tutorial on 2.2 for Sean Johnson specifically, but I guess it's for anyone. Anyway, basically what you do is, okay, this is the second controller, and what you do is just set cruise control. So like, okay, if you're going in right strafe, hold the stick down and left because it's opposite. So if you're going in right strafe, you want it down and left. In left strafe, down and right, pretty easy. So set cruise control and you'll be moving upwards and to the right. So what you want to do is tape it up and right, so you're actually adding that forward speed to the already preset cruise control, because the way 2.2 works is you won't even reach full speed unless you have it pushed upwards. Otherwise you move like 1/3 slower. So you want to do that. So just take it, just tape over it. This big chunk of tape I've been using lately for like 3 days. Tape it like so, and there you go. Just set the controller down, forget about it, because you shoot with the other controller, and you can use A and B in the other controller as well. So this controller is pretty much useless. Just set it down and make sure weight some cinema so you get full speed, and then you're good to go. So there you go, Sean. Get 48. Good luck.
Set it and forget it. And that was specifically for control style 2.2. And you hear a mention, go get 48. That's a reference to Surface 2 Agent 48. That was another level that saw a bunch of ties because of the innovation of the 2.x control styles. Let's watch Clemens' 2.4 control style tutorial.
Okay. This is another 2.2 tutorial. This is how to play it without any rubber bands or anything. Let me just get this stuff figured out. Okay. So basically, I set the left controller down and I hold it like this. Just like normal, except just with the left hand. So nothing else, just set it down like this, and then the right controller, which is more important, I hold like this. Well, okay, hold it like this. Got my right middle finger for the Z button, right thumb for the stick, and right pointer for A and B. So anyway, just put the base of my thumb like right there on the stick. Change from left strafe to right like that. A and B like that. It's pretty easy. It's just pretty painful after a while because you gotta keep the controllers away from each other so you don't bump buttons, and you gotta like, no, it's just really painful after a while. But pretty much how I did it.
Well, if you could pick up on anything he said there, excellent. I'll definitely boost the audio for you too. Hopefully you guys will understand. Let's try one more. Clemens playing 2.4. This one should be a little bit more clear.
Okay. Clemens here. I'm trying to make a proof video for Depot 00 Agent. It's not going to be very pretty, but I'm going to give it a shot. So, okay, here's two controllers. And,
let's just skip ahead. It's true because people thought like, okay, how can we be sure only one person is playing? So let's watch a run here.
you can see best time 49.
He just got a 49. Okay, here we go. Let's check it out. This was back before people knew not to do such a thing. And I mean, look, he's
jam this controller next to my foot so it doesn't move.
He's using his foot so the controller doesn't move. Oh, here we go.
Totally wrong way.
We gotta run.
This is going to be very interesting. It's kind of a horrible run to play it out anyway. Makes a door.
There's a cat in the background.
I died.
No, I mean, it does look that way, C-Track. But you guys get the point. A lot of effort and thought went into how to play it, should we allow it? I see many people in chat now saying that it should be banned, it should be a separate ranking. And that's a fair point. And I just think, looking back, we were just so blinded by this luster, oh, it's going to save 3 seconds on Depot, Secret and Double Agent. It's going to save a third of a second on Streets and Surface 2 and all these other levels that you only are in one strafe in. This is huge. It's going to save so much time. And we were all, enchanted. Yes, it's amazing, right? And we were so preoccupied with whether we could, we didn't stop to think whether or not we should. And I think that happens a lot to many people. And it happened to us for sure. It happened to us for sure. It's a good point, like, Gelly, where do you draw the line? Should lookdown be a separate ranking? Should every control style be a separate ranking? And the more you dilute the rankings, you see, speedrunning is in this... Speedrunning is what it is because it has this magical combination of just the right amount of collaboration and competition, right? Speedrunning is not purely competitive, otherwise people would just be hoarding strategies and not sharing anything. And it's not purely collaborative, because if that were the case, everyone would just be working together to, fit in the right spot and work on the strategies and share them with everybody and get them to the best person to execute the best run. It's a perfect mixture of the two. And if you dilute the boards by separating everyone, that magic formula doesn't work the same. And so speedrunning loses its magic, If you spread people too thin, you separate the rankings too much, it's not good. It's better to all be perfectly balanced and united in this magic of speedrunning. And so it's like, what do you do? Clearly, it's possible to play with two control styles. Not that easy, but it's possible. And it was sort of seen like... Another point was, on streets and surface, it's so trivially easy to use 2.2. You set the second controller in cruise control, right strafe, and you play on the first one like normal. Trivially easy. So it was viewed like, why not allow that? And then for Depot specifically, it was like, well, it's hard, yes, because you have to change strafes and you have to actually use both controllers. It's hard, but it's worth it because it saves 3 seconds. And that was sort of like the winning argument that allowed 2.x on the rankings, and they've been allowed ever since. Now, a separate matter is that, what is the second stick? What is your second stick going to be? And this gentleman here, David Monteith, sort of came to master the second stick being either a super pad controller or a GameCube style replacement stick. And the reason, because like the grooves are bigger and thicker, it's easier to use a super pad controller for 2.x purposes than a normal controller. And that as well had a bunch of discussion, like, should we allow super pads and GameCube replacement sticks? And the winning argument there was that, well, it's impossible to tell if someone's using it. So how can you possibly enforce this? If this had come to light 20 years later with streaming, maybe we would have said, you know what, enough technology exists now where you have to have a hand cam, a controller cam, and we have to verify you're not using a super pad or a GameCube style stick. But back then it was like, well, there's not much we can do about it, so we have to allow it. And that was pretty much that. And someone who took advantage of this was a gentleman by the name of David Monteith, an American speedrunner, and in 2012, he became the first person to match Clemens and Ace with 41 on Depot's Secret Agent with this run. We're about an hour in, and we are, I want to say, less than halfway, which is quite something. But 1 hour in and about less than halfway, so there's still a lot coming to you. A nice boost. Well, you can see him holding the camera, filming the screen. It's a replay of his VHS run. And I mean, look how good Monteith's movement is. Monteith can move. '41, tied Clemens and Ace. I think you would argue that Monteith was the first person to really master the use of 2 controllers. You know, nowadays we know some guys who are really good with it, Riolo and Cali. But back then, Monteith was a pioneer in that. I mean, look how good his strafing is. A boost into the hut. Ooh, taking a middle path. That another boost. I would say that could have completed. This is going to be shocking, guys. So prepare yourselves. Well, that's exactly it, Major. And the programmers put another boost, the control style, in the game on purpose, you know? 39-second failed run. The mainframes didn't blow up. But this is, of course, proof of concept that 39 is possible thanks to this amazing control style. So no objective B completes, no objective A. And this shows you what a very good run, a very skilled 2.4 user with boosts can get. 39 confirmed possible. And, you know, if you think the 2.4 strategy saves 3 seconds, this would be 42 old strat. I believe Clemens has a story as well of getting a 42 old strat failed safe. He pulled a Jimbo, he failed the safe pickup, 42 fail. And so this is that pace, but with 2.x. So imagine going like as fast as Prime Clemens using 2 controllers. That's pretty impressive. Very impressive. But yeah, another argument was that the devs included the 2 control style controllers in the game. You know, they sensed that movement was more natural with 2 analog sticks. Although, you know, free ball and 2 controllers is a little bit awkward. But they put it in there for a reason. And it's in the game. It's legit. You can play it with 2 N64 controllers. It's a legit control style. And all these reasons, it was accepted on the rankings. And all of this led up to April 30th, 2012, when David Monteith, the new master of this technique, got this speedrun. Nice headshot. Blows the mainframe completely. Almost blows the second one. That was like very, very, very skilled. A boost, a beautiful boost. Train shot. Objective D completes. Open the safe. We get some blur. We're in there, and it is what? Depot Secret Agent, 40 seconds. A new Untied World Record, a truly remarkable Untied World Record by David Monteith. Amazing. And maybe you're asking yourself, wow, this Monteith guy seems pretty good. Why have I not heard more of him? Well, you're going to find out why coming up in a few minutes. Well, if you're wondering what might have happened to David Monteith, perhaps you'll get a hint by the runner of this next speedrun. The first person to tie Monteith's Depot Secret Agent 40 seconds, the one and only inimitable Henning Blom. Now, if you're a SpeedLore aficionado, I'm sure you've heard of Henning Blom, and know that he would later be banned from the rankings for having spliced and cheated more speedruns than anyone else in the history of the game. And when confronted with it, denied such a thing not once, but on 2 separate instances months apart. So Henning was removed. However, this run seems to be legitimate. This run seems to be a true Depot Secret Agent 40. Yeah, Depot Secret Agent 40. Quite a run by Henning Blom. And, yeah, let me take a look here. It was... Henning got this about half a year after Monteith's 40. So, it was actually exactly 6 months later. April 30 was Monteith. October 30 was Henning. Right at the entry of the Twitch era. And this would precipitate the revelation that Henning had faked runs by only a couple weeks, if anything. The story gets really quite deep. It's something we're going to drill down on Depot 00 Agent SpeedLore, which is going to come up, if not the next episode, very soon. But yeah, Henning playing Depot directly led to him and his fakes being discovered. And so Henning was put in kind of this limbo in November, December, January 2013, where a lot of people wanted him banned, but, you know, the elite authority structure, what became the council, was very slow-moving and uncertain at how to deal with these things. So Henning was still in the rankings through January 2013. And this would give just enough time for our good friend Perfect Ace to come back along and match the 40. What would be a good adjective for Perfect Ace? I'm sure we could come up with many. You know, I want to make a list, a thread to make a list of these great objectives to describe speedrunners in SpeedLores. It's always fun trying to be creative like this. Ace pumped like 4 and 2 bullets. That was pretty beautiful. That was pretty gorgeous. And let's take a look. Nice train shot. Opens the door, grabs the blueprints. Objective C completed. Switches to right strafe, strafes into the train. Depot Secret Agent 40 seconds. January 2013. Now, this is what is absolutely crazy. Clearly at this point, it's a 3-way tie. Monteith, Henning, and Ace. A DM HB RI time. However, in July 2013, 2 things would happen. For one, the second major instance of Henning's fakes would be revealed. You know, in November 2012, we knew his frigate runs were fake as control runs. That was a big thing. He denied it, then later admitted it, promised to be clean, kind of in limbo. July 2013, his full game runs were discovered to be fake, his statue runs, and it was at that point Henning had to be removed. It was the final straw. You know, earlier that year, 2013, everyone was given one opportunity to come clean with any more faked runs and be forgiven one last time. We were offered absolution. Henning could have taken it, but he didn't. And at that point in 2013, it was zero tolerance. More fakes were discovered. Henning was gone, July 2013. Splice amnesty, exactly. Also, in July 2013, Axel Z, a former proof mod, posted this thread. Monteith's Depot 25. The vid no longer exists. I have a problem with this video. I talked to a couple of leaders earlier today regarding its inconsistency. Some agreed with me that the ending of the video looks sketchy. I think I'm just being paranoid. You know, there's wholesome Axel is trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Can someone please explain why the end screen first appears after 4 to 5 seconds of blackness after the last cinema instead of the usual 2 seconds? There's also a weird occurrence in Bond's right arm. already being in his pocket or close to his pocket at the ending cinema. Comparing to other depot videos, the movement starts higher up. Okay? Theoradel. Theoradel's well known in the Zelda communities nowadays. The font at the end looks different to me. The delay between finishing the level and seeing the end screen reminded me of TAS's like this was on emulator. I don't think I've ever had a delay like that on console. I point out that, this is webcam. I point out that part of the Henning revelations resulted in a new proof policy that dictated that all videos must be in captured quality. And for some reason, throughout 2013, digicammed videos were still being accepted on the rankings. I point out that, come on, we gotta tighten up the bootstraps a little bit. The way the cursor moves on the end screen is emulated. I have an eye for this. I can clearly see it's 60 frames per second. The boost he got shouldn't have been enough for Depot 25. He spliced on an emulated 25 end screen. This seems really dumb given we know how this seems really dumb given that we have a zero tolerance policy, and this means his times will be moved entirely. I've never watched the run before, but just seeing it now, it's clearly fake. People are in agreement. Monteith. Yeah, guys, it is an emulated run. Congrats on figuring it out. I'm surprised it took you guys this long. I made this run a few weeks ago when I was using an emulator to test some strats. I became curious whether an emulated run could be passed off as legit without anybody noticing, because as far as I know, it has never been done before. After I made the run, I plan on posting a few days later, telling everyone it was fake, and seeing how the community would react. Although after a few days, I decided to leave it on a little longer to see if it would make it through the proof call. I did know what I did was kind of messed up, but I was curious and wanted to see if it could be done. I knew someone would find out. I know stuff like this can't stay up after the whole Henning situation. Now, he quotes my suggestion that, it's zero tolerance now. He's going to be banned completely. And he says, since when is this a rule? I thought Henning was banned because he was caught multiple times and continued to lie. According to the proof policy, I'm supposed to get a 3-month ban. What's below is copy-pasted directly from the proof policy topic at the top of the ranks. If I knew something like this would be a permanent ban, I would never have thought about doing something like this. And he copy and pastes the proof policy, which does say, admittedly, that they will be, exiled for 3 months, times page frozen, and that's pretty much it. That's the first time. And the second time, it was, this and that. Admittedly, I only wrote this first proof policy with more lenience because the elite dinosaurs who were on the proof council at the time would not have approved it any other way. And so Monteith is right. Like, technically, he maybe shouldn't have been removed. Axel, this shows that no one watches GoldenEye runs anymore. I watched this vid earlier today for the first time, was like, what the heck? Monteith points out, this is a major problem. If people paid attention, this would have been found in a couple hours at most, rather than over a week later. I'm sorry about what I did. I hope my punishment is not too severe. I accept whatever the community decides. I hope everyone uses this as a wake-up call to look at vids more closely from now on. Now, the thing is, I empathize with Monteith here. I really do, because, if you watch the Frigate SpeedLore episode, you would know that I did very similar to what Monteith did here back in 2007. I made some fake splices. I justified it in my mind that, I was, trying to make sure everyone's on their toes and that fake runs can't get through. But in reality, you're just being a dick. You're doing something you shouldn't do to cause drama and controversy in the community. And so I empathize a lot with Monteith. At the same time, 2013 was a different era than 2007. 2013, we just had the biggest cheating scandal in GoldenEye history. Cheaters who had been forgiven for the previous 15 years were no longer being forgiven. And so it was a big question of what to do with Monteith. The Elite Council voted on what to do. I remember specifically boss, who was on the Elite Council, did not think it was fair to ban Monteith. He thought it was heavy-handed. But I guess the climate in the community, we were super tense. The Henning thing, Henning fooled us twice. And so we really didn't want this to happen again. It was voted on, and Monteith was permanently removed from the rankings. Banned and removed. What did I say here? I think the 3 months time page is a freeze is an old rendition of the proof policy. It was reworked when Henning was finally banned. That may or may not be true. I don't know. And but what I do know is that Monteith was removed. I do believe Monteith planned on revealing the fake. I do believe he didn't know the current proof policy states that all fakes will result in a permaban. I do believe what Henning did was far more severe. I'm at a loss as to what punishment is fit for Monteith. And that's in December? Man, it took us a long time to get to it. But the end result was that... Okay, it all took place in December. The end result was that Monteith was indeed banned. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's time to make a forum post about unbanning him. Clemens semi-retired. Clemens retired from GoldenEye in 2013. Fun fact. I'm sure you guys didn't know that. Things degrade into unpleasantries later on, we'll say. Despite all that, Perfect Ace, who had been the third person to tie Depot Secret Agent 40, with the removal of Henning and Monteith, had lucked into an Untied. Perfect Ace he was not the first person to get Depot Secret Agent 40 seconds. He was the third person. But in history, he is now credited with having achieved the Untied world record on Depot Secret Agent. And if you think that is funny and epic in its own way, with a twist of tragedy in there, just wait until the Depot 00 episode, because it gets even crazier. But there we go. As we stand, it's the end of 2013, and Ace has Depot SA Untied. Look at that. There's the rankings. That's how they looked. Yeah. Crazy. 2 free Untieds for Ace. So, who would be credited with being the second person to get Depot Secret Agent 40? Well, it would be another name you probably haven't heard of in SpeedLore. Stocks and bonds.
It's not so much the content of the level, but the intensity.
Stockson was a good dude. July 2014.
Perfecting it.
He learned how to play with
Always
2 control
focused.
styles. Nice boost. Ooh, could have been better. He got a little bit bumped into the mainframe there. Could have been half a second better. Very peaceful music.
41.
Do you think it's 41? Do you think it's going to match his PB?
I guess it's just something you don't understand until you... No f***ing way. No f***ing way, yes! F***ing right. Holy sh**, I can't believe that was it. Yes. Whew! Yes! RIEB, mother.
He did it. He tied an ace untied. That's a pretty remarkable thing to do. Tying an ace untied isn't something that any hack can come up with, so he was pretty pumped. And he's a good dude. I will say this much. He, for a time, I don't know where he is now. He doesn't really hang out in the community anymore, but for a time he was within an hour's drive of me, and one time I needed a capture card, probably around that same time, summer 2014. And I drove out one night and met him and hung out with him, and he gave me a capture card. And it was very, very kind of him, and I appreciated that. And he's a good bloke. And I remember at HDQ 2015, we were doing the GoldenEye race, the race, four-way agent race. And I was writing, I had to write notes to introduce the people. And obviously you don't have stationery at GDQ. And so I was cutting a card out of a pizza box, and I accidentally slipped and cut my finger, and it started bleeding, quite a bit. I just needed a card-sized card to write some notes on to introduce the players. And so I went to the bathroom with the finger bleeding, and Stockson came in to the bathroom, made sure I was okay, helped me bandage it up. And he's a good dude. He is quite a good dude. And I do feel bad in a lot of ways, because I feel as though, certainly there for several years I was quite heavily involved in drama and being a dick and other idiocy and creating as much controversy as possible. And I feel like that partially is what led to Stockson leaving the community. And he was a good dude and a competent GoldenEye player. And maybe he just was ready to move on with his life, but I feel like I was at least partly responsible. And I do feel bad for that, because he's a good dude. And wherever he is now, I do hope that he's out there and he's doing well. And hey, this isn't quite the last we'll see of him, but maybe what we'll see next also contributed to his departure. But for now, let's move on and watch an absolute pile of Depot Secret Agent 40s. This became a super commonly tied record through 2014. Really snowballed hard. After Stockson tied it in July, Jimmy Bauer tied it in August, Luke Sklarz tied it in September, and then Daniel Wotus Coelho tied it in September also. Let's take a look.
As I can. Hope the guards destroy it for me, basically, or I blow one of them up and the explosion destroys the other. Either way, I just try to do as much damage as I can while I'm not stopping.
His PB's
If I
42.
blow it up, I get a boost from the right knee, which is good. But if I just do damage, then I'm at the mercy of the guards, basically. And the explosion that comes thereafter. So it's pretty luck-based. But it's not that bad. I think I get it once every 10 minutes or something.
Back boost. No completion, by the way. Back boost.
That sucks.
42 failed. He's clearly not. He's not getting 40s every run, you know? Three bullets. Key. That was like a 4 and 3. It blows. Boost. This is looking good. train shot.
I gotta see it. Yes! I skipped the 41! I got it. Yeah, dude! I skipped the 41!
What? Oh my god.
I skipped it.
You knew it too. You knew it. You knew it, dude. Knew it right away.
Where is it? Link the stream. Insta-link me somebody. Quick.
Oh man, dude, I'm so hyped, dude. I can't believe I skipped that 41. Oh!
Yeah.
Dude, oh man. Yeah.
Lotus, Jesus Christ. With all these world records.
I knew it too. It was, oh man. I got lucky. But then again, I don't know. I was just consistent with those mainframes.
It's true. You can hear Lockwood and T Plus and I think Cook. They're in there hanging out, celebrating Wotus's amazing run, and pretty nice stuff. Like, way to go! A beautiful skip, happy run, and this is sort of when Wotus was really shooting up, becoming a top tier player. So great stuff by Wotus. The next person to tie Depot 40 may have been unexpected. Many forget the GoldenEye runs of the one and only Narcissa Wright. Let's take a look. Depot, secret agent, going for 40. And the reason you shoot that that fifth shot into the screen late is because if you shoot it too early, the guards come out of the room too early, and then the roller door is actually closed. It warps closed. So that's why that timing is done that way. Like 4 and 2, 4 and 3. A boost, there's the completion, pretty good. Wow, that's crazy, Alchemaz. That's crazy. Nice train shot.
That was kind of wide. I don't know about that. That's probably 41. Yeah, world record. Alright, we're done.
Depot secret agent 40. Caked it. You wonder if that dual stick Wind Waker runs helped facilitate the learning of a dual stick 2.4 control style in GoldenEye. You wonder, so there you go. Pretty cool. Amazing stuff. Definitely the best record Narcissa got in GoldenEye. Got a few, like some of the more boring some of the classic ones. Like, I'd want to say certainly Runway Agent 22, and maybe 1 or 2 other similar ones. Dan 53, Archive 16, Depot 25. So a small handful, and this was certainly one that, like, Depot 40 wasn't a boring 4. It wasn't an easy agent world record. So pretty cool stuff. Amazing. And the time would continue to snowball. Here is now... Let's see who this is. Oh, you know what? I believe this is me. Yep, this is me. I don't know what got into me making this video. It's a bit of a weird one. I hope you enjoy it. And I like to dedicate my runs usually to the SpeedLore champions. So this one goes out to our SpeedLore champion, Robert G. Thanks a ton for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. I hope you enjoy this run of me joining the masses with Depot 40.
Sometimes you gotta go back to actually move forward. I don't mean going back to reminisce or chase ghosts. I mean going back to see where you came from.
3,
Where you been? How you
2.
got here? See where you're going. I know there are those that say you can't go back. Yes, you can. Just have to live in the right place.
We nailed it. Depot, Secret Agent 40. I kind of wonder, I don't know what I was necessarily thinking. I think it was kind of the era where we were using like inspirational speeches in GoldenEye runs. We'd always play Arnold Schwarzenegger and this kind of stuff. And for whatever reason, I thought it'd be super troll to put the Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials in as the background of my Depot 40. Depot 40 was kind of it wasn't an amazing untitled record, right? So you could kind of afford to be a little bit sillier with your video creations. And yeah, I mean, good run. You can sort of see an inkling of something that you might come along later, as we still have like 20 plus runs to get through. Headshot there after the D5K. I shoot 3 in there, get the key, and then I take damage, sort of a boostish damage from that mainframe. I didn't shoot the far one at all, but it's like you wonder, could you boost through that mainframe? I guess we'll find out in time. Let's take a look at this run. This is the Proof Mod Trouble Clef. One of Trouble Clef's best runs ever. I mean, you can... Trouble Clef mostly had the boring 4 records. Takes damage boost off of it, nice. This is sort of becoming a bit of the new meta. Trouble Clef had achieved 7 world records in his career, and has now mostly retired onto better and brighter things, but still manages to find the time to become the proof moderator of the community, which is nice. Depot, Secret Agent 40. Very nice by Trouble Clef. Way to go. Here is, it's our pal Ryan Lockwood. Quite a crew in chat there chatting away with Woody. These are good days of Woody's stream.
There's a bizarre lack of overlap between who has 54 Archive Secret Agent and Depot.
But not a lot of people have Depot and versus Archives. Yeah, you could probably get 54s.
You got it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, Goose and Lockwood swooping
Oh
in,
my
dude.
god.
That's the shit.
Holy shit.
Oh my god,
Yes!
dude, nice.
What is happening? 27.
Another
that's
40,
nice.
man.
That's
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
Congrats.
Nice.
It's true. This was actually about an hour, or maybe even less, after I got my 40. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I got it. Went to hang out Mumble with the lads, and Woody got the 40 as well. And these were good times, for sure. How many records did Woody get in his career? I wanna take a look. I mean, Woody might be down to almost. Does he have 0? I think he has 1 or 2 left, right? I'm pretty sure. 2. Woody has 2. Oh yeah, Depot 23. Woody has, and Surface 1 102. 19 total records. So Woody, a more established player than Trouble Clef and Narcissa. More and more people starting at the 40. Pretty cool stuff. There's a run on the 40s. A run on the 40s. So things are happening. Boss would tie 40 in early 2015. Taylor V, April 2015. And then in May 2015, again, 2 players would tie it on the same day. Let's take a look at those 2 players. Wow, one of them is Jimbo. Could Jimbo get some sort of slight redemption from his 43 safe fail that would have been an Untied? Could Jimbo get at least some sort of iota of redemption? Would it be possible? Yeah, I believe what happened with the movie being released 2 years before the game was that they couldn't get the game out in time before the movie.
Put me out of my misery already. I already passed Bauer. I don't know.
So they just
Passing Goose is just, there's nothing to it anymore. Like, who cares? I kind of lost my interest when I realized when 40 wasn't going to do it.
I guess I somehow managed to stay ahead of Jimbo here. Because he boosts through the mainframe. This is becoming popular now. This is becoming popular. But yeah, they realized they couldn't get the game out before the movie, and so they took their time with the game, and that's why it became the masterpiece it was, Ooh, why did the door... he closed the door behind himself. He loves it.
Oh, I skipped the f***ing end screen like a dumb I got it. I guess I gotta go back and show it. Sigh of relief. I should be way more excited, but I'm not. I skipped the end screen like a dumbass. There.
Jimbo always does this. I don't know why.
The glove. The glove is the secret to life.
I guess he used a glove to hold the stick and make it easier for him to handle the 2 control sticks at the same time.
Wasn't even nervous for that run. I felt like, I don't know, 40 could have been way more special. Just, I should have skipped from 42 to 40, passed 2 people at the same time, not choked the shit out of 100 runs, but it's just nice to have this done and over with.
See, there's Luke in chat saying, skip the end screen? Why, Jim? Why? Every time. It's true. It's just Jimbo always skips the end screen. It's just what he does. On this same day, another speedrunner also got a Depot Secret 40. A speedrunner by the name of Sammy Rogers. Who is Sammy Rogers? Well, perhaps we're going to find out. Nice boost. Whoa. Nice shot. Nice pickup. Pretty clean run. The ending was a little bit, his line was a little bit wavy at the end. But it was good enough to beat Depot, Secret Agent 40. A very nice run by Sammy Rogers. Becoming, you know, like the 12th person to get the time. Let's see. Well, I mean, if you don't count Monteith and Henning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14th person to get the time. And Ilu would become the 15th. There's the list. On June 9th, 2015, there's a logjam at 40. All these people, these beautiful names, look at it. It looks great. And, yeah. Clearly 39, someone's got to be cooking up 39, right? Monteith failed 39 years ago now. A lot of the 40s we've seen, you know, they could get 1 or 2 more boosts. They could maybe have a cleaner mainframe room. Someone's got to be working on 39. Yeah, look at that. Look how beautiful that 112 is, by the way. It's kind of hard to believe no one else had tied. This is more than a year after I tied 112, right? I'm pretty sure. If we go a year ago. Yeah, so no one got 112 for over a year there. That's kind of remarkable. That's, you know, it's these little tidbits you pick up during lore, you know? It's like, wow, you never would have thought it. Who got 112 next? Luke in July 2015. Wow, there you go. But anyways, that's not the focus of this episode, so let's get back on track. Depot 39. Well, let's watch Stockson go for it. He had really mastered the 2.x control
I think I'm
style
going to
now.
stream Perfect Dark later, Ace. I don't know if I'm going to do SA though. I might go do some level IL attempts on Agent.
Headshot. 4 bullets. Missed the key pickup. Missed A completes. He had no bullets in the second mainframe. The safe is locked. Another 39 fail. 39 fail is definitely 39 is possible. 39 is clearly possible, but it requires a really insane mainframe room and the luck of completing the level. So Stockson would continue playing, and I mean, most people would have thought he would be the one to get 39. I would say. This is June 2015. He's going for it. He's going for it. That was a super quick mainframe room. Like, he's really upping the ante. He just runs in, shoots 4 times at the first mainframe, and none at the second, and hopes it completes. This has a really, really, really low rate of completion, but when
I don't know.
When it completes, it's fast.
It got backed.
He thought it had a chance, and it just didn't. It didn't. Here's another run going back even further. This is October 2014. Stockson had been going for 39 for like almost a year, on and off. Watch this run. Boost in. Uses his mainframe strategy, gets the key. Objective A doesn't complete this run. Okay, so it's a failed run. 2 more boosts leaving. Unbelievable. Train shot, misses the train shot, goes up, opens the safe, pauses out at the gate. A 39 pause out. The time you pause out at is 2 seconds higher than the real time. So this is a 37 real time pause out. It takes 1 second to go from where he is into the train if you hit the train shot. This video here is proof of concept that 38 is possible on the most YOLO'd, possible mainframe room strats plus boosts. It's like 3 boosts plus the most perfect mainframe room possible and a lucky completion. Are you ever going to get all these ingredients for 38 on a completed run? Probably not. But, like, it's possible. It's out there, It's out there. This video is titled The True Max. And, I mean, it is. It is the true max. Like, it's possible. 38. There's a dream of 38. But first, you have to dream of 39. And you know who else was dreaming of 39? Me. I started going for 39 in, May, June 2015. Probably May 2015. This is one of the first streams of me going for it. Because there's so much downtime between the cutscene. Only one of the 3 cutscenes gets the roller door open. So it's a lot of...
definitely not Saskatchewan.
A lot of quitting out.
That's pretty much all I can rule out.
So I was playing GeoGuessr to keep my mind occupied in between attempts of Depot. And, like, I got hit
that was so garbage. This is, like, maybe 42.
Maybe 42. I got hit 3 times in that room. It was bad. It's
probably 41, but...
I don't know what motivated me to go for this time. I really don't know. It was probably this run, to be honest.
Like, that's a very smooth ending. But, like, a really sloppy mainframe room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 40 dupe. Okay. Okay. Alright. That is surprising.
Those were some good, comfy streams on The Elite Gaming, hanging out, just chatting with like 20 mates, playing Geo. That was really comfy, man. Those are good times. But yeah, Depot 40 and like the mainframe room, I was not impressed by the mainframe room, right? Like, so this is probably what motivated me to go for 39. I barely hit the mainframe, backed by the drone, backed by that guy, like backed by the mainframe itself. This is just not good. I did know that. Moxie, I did know that. People speed. I submitted GeoGuessr to GDQ in like 2016, and they got rejected. So there's that. Me and Pixels were going to do a team run or a race. But anyways, Depot 40 didn't quite pan out yet, but I kept going for it. This one's interesting. We're now, May, June 2015. Headshot. 3 or 4 shots. Self-boost through the mainframe. A completes. Now this is a good strategy. This is a tight strategy. Probably if I got like 1 boost, it might have been 40. Or 39. The run was decent, but like not quite 39 pace. Door closed! So what happens sometimes is, if you do the train shot and then look down too much as you enter the room, the guard comes out of the train, he's alerted by the bullet, but he warps through the train door, and so he doesn't open the train door. I looked down too much. No objective D complete on screen. We can hear him open the roller door, but not the train door. This loses a bit of time, right? It's not as smooth as just running in there. It loses maybe a tenth, a quarter of a second. It loses some time. And so, Depot 40. The next run was the bad cutscene. Okay, bad cutscene. Doesn't count. The next run was... Oh, another bad cutscene. That's okay. The next run is... Let's take a look. Headshot, D5K, 3, key, 2 more. Ooh, oh, that worked poorly. Kind of a back boost. A complete still. It could have been a lot better if I was able to self-boost through the mainframe. I kind of got backed there. Slowed me down. Yeah, Yadney, because if you shoot it too early, the guard... Oh, D completes. The guards warp out of the room unless the roller door isn't open. So you have to time it a little bit later. Depot Secret Agent 40. 2 Depot Secret Agent 40s in a row. Now we're on fire. Now we're on fire. Depot 39 is we're inching closer. Oh, you're gonna love this run, Moxie. I don't know how the cropping happened on this run. This is supposed to be like 21st Depot 40. I can hear Taylor Swift's style vaguely in the background. Hopefully the YouTube don't pick up on that. Look how small the gameplay is as it stands now. Like, okay, like that was like 2 and 1.
Come
3
on!
Self boost.
This could be it.
Beautiful run. A boost. Okay, this run's actually beautiful. This is clear 39 pace. What happens?
Come on! Oh my fucking god!
He warped the roller door.
Come on! Come on!
I still think it has a chance.
Come on!
I still think it has a chance.
Come on!
It had a chance, man.
No!
That really was unfortunate. I'm 100% certain if the train door was open, it was 39.
Come on!
And so this was probably like a 40.05. This run was magnificent. Like, look at this. Headshot, D5K, 2, 1 on the far mainframe and 2 on the close one. Key, 3 on that one, self-boost through, and another boost leaving. Like, this run was... Man, this may be the best Depot Secret Agent run I've ever played. It really might be. That was so good. It almost pains me to rewatch that run. We can see the hours starting to rack up. That was at like 35 hours. This is 39 hours now. We're probably the next day. The next day away. I've gotten like 5 more 40s in the meantime. Headshot. D5K. Key. A boost. Another boost. I was a little bit too not crisp in the mainframe room. A little bit too wide turns leaving that mainframe room. But I mean, other than that, getting a boost leaving, that was a solid run.
Maybe has a chance. Maybe.
I want to get this on stream, man, so bad. Was good times playing up the reactions and stuff. I don't play that much on stream right now, Gen Orange, but I may in the near future. Look, now we're almost 30 more hours into it. This is getting dire.
I wouldn't have to, like, sleep at odd hours, you know? The only reason you speedrun at weird hours is because it requires such concentration that you can't do it when other people are awake bothering you. But if you were wealthy and lived in a huge mansion by yourself, you could have a normal sleep schedule and still speedrun or game if you wanted.
Some things never change, you know? 2 shots, D5K, key.
Come on, baby.
Beautiful boost. A
Give me a
completes. Oh my god, is this it? Is this the run? Is this it?
Open! Open! Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
That was complete and utter robbery. That was absolute robbery. I mean, if the door was open, that's got to be 39. The mainframe room was so clean, and like my strafe lines leaving it were so good. Well, it's sort of my own fault, Moxie, in that I'm like looking down too much as I enter the what we call the hut. Okay, that jagged strafe, I doubt that cost more than a tenth. I think this was still 39 pace. Like, right here, if you look up fully the whole way, it'll complete. That look down at the door is what gave them enough lag to warp through the train door. So it's kind of my own doing, but at the same time, if you look up too much, you cause too much lag, and you lose time. So it's like you're dancing on a very fine line there, and 67 hours in, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Even a little bit beyond that, a few sessions later, I'm watching Ilu on Twitch, and I got this run. Lockwood looked up too high. There you go. Yeah, that's right. That was secret. That was agent, but similar. So I used the Eric strat of leaving through the middle. It somehow completes. I got a back boost. Oh my god, dude. This is insane. You can see how many different techniques there are moving through the mainframe room. I would usually try to self-boost myself. Eric would kind of shoot once on each mainframe and just hope for the best. Instead of leaving, like, but you know, I would kind of go behind both mainframes. He would only go in between the two. This was another Depot Secret Agent 40. Almost painful. Almost painful, I would say. You could hear that. You go on ahead, Joanna. I'll be... What level's that? Rescue, escape, one of those two. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We were 75 hours in or more, and we couldn't get it done. Oh, this was probably watching Ace. That was probably watching Ace. The next vid, I was watching Ilu. And the next vid is when something remarkable would happen. On the 11th of June, 2015, current era. I had tried 70 hours on stream, I couldn't get it. I woke up one morning, I was unable to sleep. I turned on Ilu's stream, he was playing Rescue, Perfect Agent. He would later go on to get the Untied. On that level. Perhaps this was a good omen. I was playing off stream. Sometimes you just gotta play off stream, you're way more focused. I just desperately wanted this 39. I had a lot going on. You know, there was a lot going on in the family. I wanted to be up north of the cabin, enjoy the hot weather. We're in June now. You know, there was a wedding in the family. We're busy. You know, you guys know a lot of the story, and I just desperately wanted this Depot 39. And on the morning of June 11th, 2015, while watching Alou play Rescue Perfect Agent and chatting in his chat, I got this speedrun. A speedrun so remarkable. It's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, 4-Day Bender. Thank you, 4-Day Bender, for supporting SpeedLore so generously on Patreon. Let's all enjoy this masterpiece of a speedrun. A career-defining speedrun and moment. Maybe one of my best runs ever. It's true. That's I managed to type all that in that time.
Yeah, it does seem insane from
That run was this run. It's beautiful. It's all like I know it's kind of troll, but like it's honestly one of my favorite music videos I've ever made. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, if it were only as simple as paying royalties, I would do it, but it's not. The song was "As I Lay Me Down" by Sophie B. Hawkins, a classic '90s adult contemporary, light AC, easy listening song, beautiful. And it just meant a lot to me. The reason I blurred it out at the beginning was to kind of tease that it was this run where Lou says, it does seem insanely troll goose.
Yes. Oh my fucking god.
Wow. There's the vid. You know what's funny is that what is it, 009 sound system, Dreamscape? It used to be like the default YouTube copyright-free song. Now it's actually copyrighted. Now it's actually copyrighted. So I have to mute that too on YouTube, that bit. This video is actually on my main channel. I have it unlisted because I kind of felt that the beginning and end parts of it were a bit cringe, to be honest. But the middle part, the run to As I Lay Me Down is just, I don't know, man, I just love it. I just love it. It just means a lot to me. The run was crazy because I've had better runs in the mainframe room. What happened on this is that as I approached the key, I got hit by the drone. Sometimes you get hit like leaving. You get like a boost leaving the key, but I got hit at the key, and so what happened was it kind of counts like a back boost. It's kind of like a back boost stops you dead in my tracks, and I was still able to get a boost through the mainframe. And leaving there, I thought like, okay, like obviously the mainframe wasn't as perfect as I wanted it. We've seen faster on some of my low 40s, but I thought like as soon as I got through it, I was like, okay, it's not perfect, but if I get 2 boosts, it might have a chance at 39. And I got 1 right away. I'm like, man, if I get a second boost down the stretch, it might have a chance at 39, and I got the second boost, and I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my dear. We got it. We shot the door open. It was beautiful. And we're in there. And we're in there. And we did it. And we got it done. And it was Depot Secret Agent 39. You know, there is a non-spliced version without the foxes. And, yeah, I mean, the foxes was just one of the coolest things I'd ever seen or filmed in my life personally. I was shutting down the cottage in September 2014, which is earlier than we would usually shut it down. Yeah, you know, I don't want to go over the full story again, but you know, if you guys have watched the Silo SpeedLore episode, Silo Secret Agent episode 8, I think it is. You know, when we had just learned that my mother was sick, and we rushed up there to close the cottage and take care of it so we could focus on other things. You know, I was going back to school, I was coaching hockey. Went up there on a beautiful September night, shut it down. Just before we left, I walked down to the beach, and these 2 foxes were there. And I sat down, and they kind of played around me. They came running up to me. They were curious. And I watched them dance around the sunset. And I think because of all that was going on with the family in early 2015 up to June, I also hadn't been back up to the cabin yet. And usually I get up there in April or May, and you know, I was missing the cabin. I was feeling stressed out. It's very much a place where I can recuperate and get my mental energy, my magic, my spirituality back intact. And, you know, between my mother not being well and a wedding in the family, I hadn't been able to make it up there. And I was just missing the cottage. And I was able to grind down and get Depot 39. And so I felt like including the foxes was a beautiful thing to do. And I really, I get nostalgia watching this video again. I really love this video. And it's one of my favorite world records that I've ever gotten. And it will probably be the last untied world record I will ever set in the game. I can say that now. You know, it's like, I know you guys might be on looking and say, oh, Goose, come on, you can play again. You can get new records. You're good at the game. But I know where I stand now, you know, and I know where my priorities are. It would be like telling, you know, a Jack Nicklaus or a Tiger Woods when they're 50 years old, oh, you can win another major, and they're kind of like, you know what, like, I know where I stand now, you know, maybe you're a bit more wishful than me. And so, if this is the last Untied I ever set, I'm happy with that, you know, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah, Depot 39. And, like, given that all that was going on and leading up to it, it really feels like a marker, a flagstone in life and in the story of your life and your journey, you know? And things would get a bit crazy, you know, because this was done on June 11, 2015. And, you know, it's SpeedLore. I like to focus on the speedrunning, certainly, now more than ever. But that point, June 2015, was an interesting point, I think, in human history. We'll come to look back upon it. 5 days later, in the real world, a prominent figure would come to international renown and start a crazy journey, and it would change the way we all treated each other and interacted with each other online. In that regard, for the worse, for sure. And I think we'll see the descent into that over the next little bit of the SpeedLore, and hopefully come to a good resolution for the better as we leave the episode. But I see this moment, June 11, 2015, as being so peaceful and so beautiful, and things would become not like that at all over the next 2-3 years, as we'll find out. So, time for Act 3. Who is Sammy Rogers? Well, it was a name mentioned a little bit earlier in the episode. He was someone who tied Depot Secret Agent 40. Let's learn a little bit more about Sammy Rogers, shall we? So I asked the guys to basically find a clip or two that kind of demonstrate, you know, Sammy, to me, I think of him, I don't know him that well, I've never met him in person. Our moments at live events have never crossed paths. You know, I think the last time I was at a big one was 2015, and his first time was 2016, so we never met. But any interactions we've had online, we've always been friendly. He's a likable, affable, funny guy. And I asked the guys to find a couple clips that demonstrated this, and this is one they all seem to enjoy. So he's kind of having a laugh at the expense of proof mods and people who get proof called. Feel free to find it and show me Alchemaz. I would love to show it.
I am the proof mod. I have spotted a dip in its natural habitat. This is a poor cropper, is what we call these. He has a vid that's at 50% the acceptable frame rate, and 40% of it has been cropped. Let's see what happens when we confront him. It's fine! Your proof standards are way too high. Oh, fine.
This is the image Alka showed me. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but he's a goofy guy. He's a goofy guy. He's making fun of how absurd it has to be to play like 2.x. Link it, Dusky. Let's link. If we have the control one, we'll link it. I'll play 2 short ones in the meantime. Here's one. He's big on Snapchat. You know, he's more of a zoomer. I'm not big on Snapchat. But when you're packing up for a video game event, this is a good one. We can all relate. Toothbrush. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Okay, Odyssey Boys. Let's see what this one's about. Man, he could be a big star on TikTok. He should do it. I don't know why he's not on TikTok already. He could be a big star. Okay, here we go.
Did I kill all 4 at the start?
Oh, shit.
I know I don't have to, but I'm just wondering if I did. Stop! There goes most of my health and stuff.
Don't worry.
Yeah, no, this
I f***ed it all up.
So, what happened here was, when people are playing Control, in order to time the exit, some people will press a button to start a timer, and then they'll leave the timer at 17 seconds left. 17 seconds of counting up, that's the fastest Natalia can complete. So you start the timer, you jump in at 17, that's the strategy for Control. Sammy messed up, and instead of hitting a timer, he hit start on a Mario Party tool-assisted speedrun video. So he had no timer, but he had a Mario Party TAS playing.
Did I kill all 4 at the start?
Oh, shit.
You don't have to.
I know I don't have to, but I'm just wondering if I did.
So, this, in a nutshell, is Sammy Rogers. And he's one of those guys who everyone likes, right? He's big into movies and video games. He's seen, like, every movie ever made. He owns every video game ever made. He's one of those guys. We all have a buddy like that. Everyone likes him. And so he's a good dude. And it's important because of what happens next. By January 2018... Okay, hold that thought. This is another Sammy Rogers.
Oh my god, can we make it to 40?
Oh, maybe.
Oh wait, is it 40?
I think so.
Is it 40?
I think it's
Is
just
it 40?
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
Oh.
It was a pretty good Fortnite dance. I didn't know Sammy knew enough about
yeah,
Fortnite
dude.
to nail it.
40?
Yes.
Pretty good. And, yeah, my computer's lagging, honestly. Anyways. So, we've established that Sammy's a good bloke and a very likable guy. And, look, by January 2018, Depot Secret Agent 39 remained untied. It was the longest I've ever had an untied for. And it was on the brink of becoming the longest standing untied in the game, believe it or not. Only one record stood in its way, Mark's train Agent 57 was about 1 month older, and Henrik was going to tie that. It was an inevitability. So if Depot 39 could stand a little bit longer, it would become the longest standing untied. I would have that for the first time in my career. It would be a really, really cool thing. That'd be cool that a record that I'm really proud of and happy about would become the longest standing untied. I really wanted it to happen. But things rarely happen the way you want them to. Before Henrik managed to tie Mark's Train 57, before Depot 39 became the longest standing untied, it didn't. And in January 2018, Sammy Rogers tied Depot Secret Agent 39 after 2.5 years of it being untied. I would always try to bluster it up, say it's the best record in the game. It's insane. It's a good record. But Sammy managed to get it. He played this run, and let's take a look. Now this comment here is accurate. Was probably a bad strat that had a 1 in 10,000 chance of completion. Okay, it was a bit exaggerated, but the thing is, this technique in the mainframe room does have a very low chance of completion, much lower than my self-boost through the mainframe strategy. Because you're putting... I mean, you're leaving a lot to luck there. But Sammy wanted to go for this strategy, and he did it, and it worked. And he was able to get the 39, and it's a great run. I gotta give him the credit. It's a great run. Now, in the aftermath of this run, it was early 2018. I still, wasn't too new, or rather, I wasn't too far along in the YouTube game, right? I don't think he spent more than 79 hours. I think he probably spent 50 or 60, maybe 70, maybe 80. It wasn't like he spent 500 hours on it. But yeah, I was I'd been doing YouTube vids for about a year. I wasn't, I didn't know the ins and outs yet, so I was kind of making weird content still, not exactly sure what to make or what worked well. And so I figured I would make a video, kind of a mini lore about Sammy tying the record, and I kind of played it up a bit, and I kind of, was overly sad. Although, to be honest, I was a bit sad. I was a bit upset that my 39 had been tied. Why me? Why did he tie my record instead of anyone else's, and so on. And, I haven't even, I made a video, like a 15-20 minute mini lore. I haven't watched it since. I'm not going to watch it tonight. It's too cringe. It's hard to watch your own cringy stuff. But I guess the result of me making such a video, and, you know, in combination with the way the world was going, you know, the way we had become accustomed to treating each other, especially online, on Twitter, on forums and so on, and trolling hard, and saying the dumbest, craziest things possible on Reddit, and doing all sorts of subversive tactics everywhere to boost up your views and thoughts. It was a toxic place, let's be real. And I certainly didn't help, and added a lot to that toxicity. As a result of all of that, plus my video, you know, crying about my 39 getting tied, you know, the dislike ratio on this video got a little bit crazy. 86 and 31 down. Why would people dislike? I love Goose. Credit where credit's due. Goose channeling his inner Mark Rutsu. Goose has 8 alt accounts. The dislikes. R.I.P. Goose. Is he really depraved? And this one too, the raw video, just as bad. Just as bad. Okay? Things were not pleasant. Yeah, I mean, I believe it, Eliminator, that you saw 5 A completions in 2 hours. I believe it. You know, maybe the odds... I would often complain and talk about stuff I didn't know. You know, I'd say, oh, this strategy, this is terrible. You're never going to get a completion. And maybe it was a lot more consistent than I would give it credit. So I believe that. Anyways, his video got a lot of dislikes. It was a toxic time, a toxic place. It was not healthy. And the run deserves a lot of praise because, honestly, Depot 39 is a good record. But, you know, as crazy and silly and troll and worse as things were back then, you know, I think we're coming out of the other side of it better, for the better, okay? So, I posted that, you know, I want to do Depot Secret Agent lore. Our pal Joris Quevedo, great dude, look at this amazingly formatted post he comes up with. All of the amazing records. I mean, what a good bloke. Joris is just incredible. He's a co-writer, co-researcher of these episodes now, basically. But this really blew my mind, okay? And maybe it shows how things are turning around and for the better. I say great stuff. We get this revelation from Willis Grayman. Alright then, since Depot Secret Agent 39 will be talked about, I might as well come clean and admit that I used my own accounts to put dislikes on Sammy's 39 videos. Why did I do this? Even I don't know anymore. I guess I just thought it'd be funny to join in this usual infamous aspect of elite culture. But now I realize it only made Goose and others look worse. So to Sammy, Goose, and everyone, I'm sorry. I will be removing them from both the main and raw videos. For those who might not know, the original serial disliker was Mark Rutsu. You know, he had gone off the deep end. Not that he's the only one to do so. And he disliked Luke's videos like 150 times in one day. I talked about it in a now unlisted video about the top 5 most degenerate acts in Elite history. You know, but that's all water under the bridge now. But it's interesting to see Willis come clean, and he clearly feels bad about it, right? He clearly feels very bad about what he did, and he apologizes. And then later on, it gets even crazier. Quirky. Willis definitely deserves credit with kickstarting Confession, and seeing Goose's reply really, really makes me feel really bad for what I did then and the last few years. While Willis provided 2 dislikes on Sammy's Depot 39, I was the one that started it all. I provided, I think, 8 dislikes to the video initially, and then provided 5 dislikes to all his uploaded videos. I used VPNs from different countries like Australia and Canada to make it appear that it was Goose fans that did it. And indeed, that is what I believe Sammy concluded. Now, why did I do it? I so wanted to see Goose get the longest standing Untied, so I was not amused to see his opportunity go. Also, I don't like the Venga Boys, which Sammy used in his vid. Still true today, but obviously no excuse for what I did. I really apologize, Goose and Sammy, for that. I remember your Sammy tying the Tide video, which is Joris found, which is unlisted now. If what I did caused negative perception for you, I feel really bad. And doing what I did to Sammy's vids, which is childish, me wanting to see people get riled up. My LTK mate Flicker got an accusation towards him, who already dealt with that crap before. Now, he says he was not the one who disliked another infamous disliking scandal. But anyways. Unfortunately, it does not end there. Throughout 2018 and the first half of 2019, I would dislike videos of random people. Yendis, all those dislikes, I think I gave 4 per video. Came from me. Pogo Pope, the dislikes you got came from me. There were a few others, but I can't remember. Second half of 2019, I let off a bit, not being on Discord anymore. But I disliked as recently as Kevin DDR's first amazing Untied. I got more fruitless as YouTube seems to eliminate the dislikes or some feature has come. And maybe people realize not to comment on it anymore and bring it attention. I would secretly go on Discord and type in the word dislike to see if anyone brought it up. I apologize to all that I did this to. I'm sorry, like, you know what? It is hilarious in its crazy, bizarre way. You know, like, it's, and we're not done. We're not done yet. I was childish and being a stupid troll. Even now, I couldn't confess on my own volition. It needed to be brought up. I've not partaken in any dislike actions so far this decade, and I really do like getting into a seamy attitude. That's our positive mantra for the year and beyond. I certainly have nothing against people getting success in the game. This and PD are by far my favorite games to see people pushing how far they can go speedrunning-wise. I can't believe I'm about to post this, but I think it's better to truly clear the air and confess here. And then someone asked, like, why did you dislike random people? You know, the Sammy, okay, we get it. It was a bit of a meme. Sammy tied my Untied. This deserves an explanation. Basically, he mentions how Yendis and Kevin were you know, rightfully, going off, on me in late 2018. Understandable. But Corky did not like this. And so he took it out on Corky and Kevin by going off and giving them dislikes. He says he remembered the Rixer, a guy who seems cool from what I observed. He gave dislikes to at least one video of the Rixer just because. Part of me disliked because obviously it was a notorious issue in the past, and seeing the community get riled up was feeding a troll part of me. Sammy's 39 was the first time I disliked videos to specify another thing. There's no need for me to go on, but this person was ace. Yes, I went through disliking videos of him too. This included videos uploaded by The Elite Gaming and DSX. No one noticed to my disappointment at the time. I thought it'd be more noticeable in Ace's videos. I was the serial disliker of 2018-2019 to sum it up best. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Yendis posts his stats. 5 dislikes on every video. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, this is just shocking and stunning, and one of the craziest revelations we've ever seen. And, Ricky says, you know what, like, I guess people don't buy his apology. I do. I buy his apology. I don't blame people for viewing it as pathetic. I might as well confess. I had resentment at never being able to get along socially in the community, etc., etc. Wow. And then things change around, but yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And so to me, you know, it drives home lessons learned. You know, it drives home the influence you have on people. You know, I don't remember actually instructing anyone to dislike the video. If I like, I'm trying to remember. I don't want to watch the, you know, my crying video because it's too cringe. You know, I wasn't actually crying. I was just, you know, pretending to be more sad than I was and talking about Sammy's 39. I might have like jokingly disliked it in that video and then later undisliked it or something like that. But it really drives home the influence you have on people, especially someone, you know, like me with a bit of a following online. You know, and poor Sammy Rogers. You know, this is a guy, he's not like a me or a Carl Jobst or a Cheese or these other speedrunners who, you know, Sammy has no desire to be a famous online persona. He just wants to hang out and play video games and share his times with his friends. And so he's obviously much less equipped to handle that sort of negative attention, that sort of hate. He's just an unwitting fellow that this happens to be, you know, almost in the wrong place at the wrong time. And yeah, I mean, we're talking about dislikes here. It could be much, much worse, but it just drives home that point of, what are you wasting your time doing this? You know, like, you see from Quirky and Willis as well, how bad they feel for engaging in this. Like, they feel terrible for having played a part in this. And it really makes you realize that putting negativity into the world never makes you feel better. Like, that's for damn sure. You know, all this hate, does it ever improve your life? And the answer is no. The answer is no. And that's why we're going ahead now with this see me attitude. Celebrate, elevate, empathize, motivate, and inspire. And that's the positivity for 2020 and beyond. So, yeah, I mean, I know some people are saying, oh, you know, it's funny how it comes out just before SpeedLore. I disagree, because a lot of things come out before SpeedLore. Ancient videos that no one's seen for 10 years get dug up before SpeedLore. New strategies get dug up before SpeedLore. And so these confessions come up before SpeedLore. I think that's completely fine. And I think that is the appropriate time for them to come up anyways. So, there we have it. Lessons learned. Hey, look. We've all done dumb things, and luckily we've learned and moved on, and I think it's fair to point out that right now in the elite community, it's, I would say, the most united, positive place it's ever been. I really think that's true, and that's a good thing. We've come a long way, and things are good. So we're going to keep it that way. United and harmonious. And it's a great place now. It really is. It really is a great place. Okay. So there's all that. How to finish now? Well, I will tell you that over the next couple years, 4 more people have got Depot 39. Let's just watch those Depot 39s and call it a SpeedLore. Carl Jobst, February 16, 2018. He came up with a new strategy for the mainframe room himself. Headshot. 4. Left strafe, self-boost in left strafe. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's a great quote, Heshies. Beautiful quote. So Carl got the Depot 39. He would use the same technique going for Depot 0046, which would be an Untied. But that, again, is a story for that episode. But great stuff by Carl. He really solved the level. And it would be another year until someone else would tie 39. But Gus Riolo, in April 2019, would do so. He's quite good at 2.x. It's not a surprise to see that he would tie the record as well. So that looks pretty similar to the strategy that Sammy used on 39, I would say. Or, I guess this was kind of what Eric was doing even. The old Eric stocks and bonds strategy. And it ended up working out for Riolo. A back boost? Man, that makes you think. That makes you wonder. Depot 39. That same month, Wotus would also tie 39. I don't know this video, so let's take a watch. So probably Wotus caked this in like 30 minutes. I believe it. I believe it. Wotus is good. You know, I would like that my baby 39 hasn't been tied that easily by people, but I guess, you know what? Things can only last so long. So that's a pretty similar... That's like Sammy Rogers' strategy. Joris says it's kind of new. Kind of Wotus' own technique. But I mean, you can see everyone now has a very wide variety of strategies they use. I'm the only one who uses my strategy among these 39s. Carl has his own. And yeah, I mean, Joris Quevedo, July 2019, got this run. He's the most recent person to tie 39. This is the last full speedrun of the night we will show. So here we go. Joris Quevedo, the official co-researcher of SpeedLore, with Depot 39. He tried to do the Carl strat, boosting yourself on the way out in left strafe, but missed the shot, and it's still completed anyways. You're in time for the last 3 minutes of SpeedLore, Moonraker, sorry to say. Wow, insane. Gets in there. Depot 39 by Joris Quevedo. Amazing run. Great stuff by Joris. And that's the thing, right? Let's say he got the he missed the boost. Without a save point 3. We saw Gus Riolo get 39 with a back boost. Avoiding that would save point 3. How much lower is possible? Here's the current rankings, you know. There I am, our pals Sammy Rogers, Carl, Gus, Wotus, Joris. There's a pile of 40s down below. Who the heck is Charles Bayard? Wow. Huh, I guess his, I guess all his vids are gone or something. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, 6 people 39. Will more people get it? Possibly. Maybe this lore will inspire some more people to go for 39. Joris thinks 38 is possible. He says, Depot 38 is possible. It'd be a really insane time. I also wonder how much time the Depot warp would save on this level, since you still have to go to the safe. It might only save 1 second, and you would still need to get a train shot. A comparison video would be interesting. Well, our pal Ted, the mad genius Ted, made just that. This is the final clip of the night. How much does the warp save on Depot Secret Agent? Watch the mission timer. Gets the safe, goes to the bottom of the stairs and pauses out. 28.87. Now let's watch with the warp. Warp, up the stairs, get the safe, backtrack, down the stairs, pause, 27.93. The Depot warp, the roller door warp, which is very, very, very difficult. Average players get it once every 5 hours at best. May save up to a full second on Secret Agent. You know, I've always wondered about how much time this saves on Secret Agent. And thankfully, earlier today, White Ted, our TASer, figured it out. Finally TS'd a run, made a comparison video. It may save about 1 second. And yeah, I mean, exactly, he did it just before SpeedLore. And yeah, I mean, you know, we saw the old Stocks and Bonds runs that was 38 pace Quevedo at the last roller door. He missed a train shot. You know, we've seen Gus and Joris get 39 with imperfections. Even my 39 had imperfections, right? 2 boosts made up for it, but I've had much better mainframe runs before. And so 38 may be possible without the warp. And then this is super, super unexplored territory, the warp on Secret Agent, but it may save up to a second. Even if it doesn't save a second on a real console run, if it saves half a second, it's still a big deal, and it still makes 38 much more viable. But yeah, 38 probably possible, almost certainly possible, and 37 might be possible, believe it or not. It might be possible. And who knows what day will come, if we may see that someday. I wouldn't be surprised to see 38 happen within the next year or two, maybe the next few months. I think Gus Riolo may be going for it. We saw he had a back boost on his run. And it's sort of like, let's say you're going for 38, and the run, you think, oh, this is probably like a high 39. It's not quite 38 pace. On those cases, you might just YOLO it and go for the warp and see what happens, you know? So, who knows where the future of Depot Secret Agent stands now. But yeah, I'm really happy that we now know, we have an idea that the warp does save time, maybe up to a full second, and even, you know, reservedly half a second, I would say, you could count on. So there we go. That's the story about Depot Secret Agent, you know, that's it. I hope you learned not just about the stage, but also about some important lessons and some cool, crazy history as well, you know. I do just think about the Dislike Saga and how it really makes you realize to use your influence online positively for the best. And I hope that's what I'm doing now with these SpeedLores, as opposed to all the tomfoolery and bullshit that we used to get up to in the past, for sure. So, on to brighter and better days, and keep rolling ahead. The best is yet to come, that's for sure. A big thanks to all these SpeedLore legends on Patreon. Thank you all so much for your support, your continued support. It's incredible to see the same names on so many of these end cards, and a shout out to the new names as well. And A big shout out to Joris Quevedo. He's been doing amazing research helping me out with these episodes, so big thanks to him. We'll be back soon enough with yet another stage and episode 30, believe it or not. So I hope you'll remain well, healthy, and happy, and I'll be thinking about the next episode until then. In the meantime, my friends, stay true, and I'll see you in the next stream or video. Good night.